I'm absolutely convinced. I am convinced the universe, everyone out there does not want Tottenham to win the Europa League. James Maddison and Bergvall have been ruled out for the remainder of the season. James Maddison, who stepped up at Hoffenheim away, who stepped up against Bodo Glimt in the semi-final, was probably our best player on the pitch. And Bergvall, one of our most important midfielders. Both of those are out of the second leg. And get this, Dominic Solanke is also a doubt. Why can't we ever have anything nice? How are we going into the biggest game in probably the last 5, 6, 7 years at this football club, and we've been hit with an injury crisis? Why is it always us? It's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke. How are we sitting here? We're 1 point above 17th in the Premier League. It's been our worst Premier League campaign for as long as I can remember. We're going into our most important fixture of the season, and we're now going to be about our best midfielder. We're also going to be about Son. Make of that what you want. With Dominic Solanke, if we're without him, that is a huge, huge miss. Stepped up with a penalty away at Frankfurt, stepped up with a penalty against Bodo Glimt. And we could potentially be without all three of those. Being a Tottenham fan, genuinely, it is a roller coaster. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. 90% of you who watch the content every single day are not subscribed. The Spurs Watch tweeted this out yesterday, which basically said that, here it is. According to Alex Crook, James Maddison's season is over. Fear is the knee injury is significant, with scan results expected in the next 24 hours. How? How are we going to be about James Maddison? Ben Jacobs then put, James Maddison picked up a significant knee injury in Spurs' Europa League semi-final first leg win over Bodo Glimt that is likely to end his season. Scan results provide further clarity in the next 24 hours. More on TalkSport. And then not only that, just to add insult to injury, Bergvall was in an ankle boot for the first leg, and this was tweeted out on the 2nd of May, 3 days ago. Bergvall is set to be sidelined for at least 8 weeks due to injury. Our 2 best midfielders are now out. I mean, we can't catch a fucking break. We've had Van der Ven out for 3 months. We've had Romero out for 3 months. We've had Son out for at least a month and a half, 2 months. Radu Dragusin does his ACL. Vicario was out for 2 months. Tottenham's injury list ahead of the Europa League semi-final: out Dragusin, Bergvall, Maddison, doubtful Son and Solanke. So we could be about 4 first-team players against Bodo Glimt. And just to make things a little bit worse, it snowed yesterday in Bodo Glimt, and they are expecting, in terms of the weather, in Norway, it's currently 3 degrees. The weather on Thursday, by the time the game is played, is expected to be about 5 degrees, maybe colder. So we're on a 3G pitch with freezing cold weather potentially, without Son, Solanke, Maddison and Bergvall. It's a fucking joke, mate. How are we sitting here on the biggest game of our season and players are dropping like flies? Players are dropping like flies. The only players that played yesterday in the 1-1 draw with West Ham that will probably feature, this entire 11, the only players that will play Thursday that played is Vicario, Bissouma, and Richarlison. Spence, Danso, Davis, Gray, Sarr, Kulu might play in the 10 actually, Odegaard, Tell, and Richarlison. I actually can't believe it. Got an injury crisis on the eve of our biggest game, and probably Ange Postecoglou's biggest game in his career. that literally the game to save his job potentially. And we're sitting here right now. We have been hit with another injury crisis. We just can't catch a break, man. We can't catch a break. It's absolutely disastrous. It really, really is. You know, genuinely, I'm fuming. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You know, Maddison for me has been the best player from a midfield perspective that we've had all season. You know, in terms of his stats, 6 GA and 11 in the Europa League, 16 GA in 31 in the Premier League. You know, he's got 24 goal contributions or 23 goal contributions this season. We've got a hope that we can get out of Bodo. You know, I'd just go and play for a 1-0 win like we did against Frankfurt. You know, hope that we've got Solanke fit for the final. Hope that we can try and, you know, give Maddison a couple of injections and play through the pain. It's going to be the biggest game in every one of those players' careers, other than the likes of Romero, who's won a World Cup. It's absolutely huge. Everything is riding on this. And we're going out there at this moment in time with, I don't even know what our midfield's going to be. Probably Bentancur, Kulu in the 10 and Bissouma. I don't know what the front line's going to be. Probably Richarlison, Tell, and Johnson. Like, if Solanke is doubtful, Son's doubtful. You know, Son hasn't played in over a month anyway. I don't even think he played after the March international break. But we're sitting here right now, and the mood in the Tottenham fan base is very up and down. It's very, very, very up and down. You know, James Maddison's, I mean, Alex Crook has put that out. You know, Postecoglou says it's fair to say it's not looking promising in regards of James Maddison's injury. I just don't understand how we have such bad luck when it comes to injuries. Such bad luck. You know, and before anyone says Arsenal are out with Gabriel, Arsenal are out with, you know, no Havertz. Arsenal have a much better squad than us. You know, this season we've lost Vicario, Van de Ven, Romero, Solanke, Son, Dragusin, Porro Udogi, Maddison. We've had so many injuries this season, and now we're going into this game with, like, And Postecoglou and why he was hard on the players in training after Liverpool defeat. I didn't find we'd handled things very well. I want them to grow. I don't think there is growth unless you're honest with people. There's always then a danger you might put some noses out of joint, but I'm confident that they buy into what we're doing. Whatever feedback we give them, positive or negative, for the right reasons, they're pretty good at taking things on board. I mean, the team talk is going to be so important. And the players' mindsets going into this game. He's also commenting on Bergvall's injury. It's not helpful. Some of it's to protect the players themselves. You can imagine Lucas was devastated. He didn't want to deal with it, and we didn't want to make it public. Not much about the opposition, but to give them time to process it. Like, obviously now it's public that Maddison and Bergvall are both going to be out. You know, if Bodo score early on, I do fear for us. If Bodo score early on, it is going to be game on. It is going to be game on. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really, really not. You know, this is the biggest game of the season. We have to take the ball by the horns. We have to win every duel. We have to want it. We have to want it. You know, we were excellent in the first leg. Probably should have won by more goals. In terms of the stats, we absolutely battered them. We gifted them a goal late on, which was such a poor goal to concede. We can't play like that. If we play like we did against Frankfurt, I think we'll make the final. Man United, of course, lost yesterday as well. You know, they're in absolute cruise control in their leg. Bilbao drew 0-0 yesterday with Real Sociedad, and they only registered something like one shot on target. Hopefully, it's going to be a Spurs Man United final. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am.